Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Knowledge Broker podcast. We are back for our fourth mini episode. I'm still Trish, and this is Josh, our expert in all things real estate. So if you're just meeting up with us now, we're doing an 8-part mini series all about real estate. So if you have any questions at all about real estate while we're doing this, please feel free to message us, email us, call us with your questions, and we'll be happy to answer them on the podcast. So today's episode is all about AI and VR in real estate, where we're going with it, where we're currently with it, and kind of a little bit more about what kind of role does it play in real estate.
Yep.
So to start off, how is AI and VR already in real estate?
We see it a little bit with people taking advantage of space in a house. So maybe like a house will be vacant, and instead of furnishing the whole entire house, they'll bring in, even if they're using augmented reality or artificial intelligence, AI, and let's put that to the side for a sec. On the augmented reality side, which I kind of consider part of virtual reality, they'll allow you to come through a house and actually they'll place furniture within it. So when they take photos, they're actually literally plunking in furniture into the photos so you can see the space.
Gotcha.
The interesting thing is when you come through the house, it's gone. So it's for the photos, which I think is a good way for people to see the photos. But then ultimately people see houses and they buy property because they go through them.
Yeah.
The challenge with that kind of technology is that it's limited just to photos. That being said, if you had the exact same technology and people could come through a house and put on a set of VR goggles, then you'd probably be able to mimic both. So it's like, I feel like you could do it, but those things have to be intermixed because people do still want to walk through property. On an artificial intelligence side, a lot of it's becoming more of like predictability stuff. Facebook, for instance, like when it comes to advertising, they're using AI when it comes to figuring out what people's trends are. So a lot of it's feedback mechanism. So they're utilizing AI. And we're also getting a little bit in the real estate side where we can see what users' behaviors are on websites and whatnot. And then you can try and figure out what they want, what they're looking for, and you try to predict it ahead of time. So I mean, it's not, and it's also, some of it's not even that old. We think about when we sit down with buyers and they tell us the area that they're looking for, we set them up into searches that automatically send them listings. If you think about it, that's a bit of AI as well, because it is setting the parameters and it's going out there trying to find properties for them. So it's kind of like all they're doing is taking old thought process and turning it into automation.
So needless to say that AI and VR is very much already here in real estate.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how much more are we going to see of it and in what other capacities. Because what you're saying with like the furniture, I think is actually really brilliant. And I never thought of it before myself. But I have seen like photographs where all the furniture and whatnot, that's all fake. Like it's all graphically designed.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how you can... what they'll do is they'll have like the 360 kind of video, which I guess in some ways is also a form of virtual reality, where you can go through the house, but it's like through your computer. So you're right. If you could actually move through the physical space with a pair of goggles on, seeing how the furniture, how the feel of the house would be with that kind of stuff, I think that's a really fascinating, forward thinking. But part of me is also thinking, wouldn't that be expensive? Like, would it be cheaper to get someone to stage an entire house or to, like, create that?
You'd be surprised. Staging's one of the most expensive things we do in real estate.
Yeah.
If it is included part of the service, or if the client and the homeowner is going to pay for it themselves. If you wanted to outfit, say, a 2,000 square foot house that was 4 bedrooms, furniture in all four bedrooms, living room, kitchen, everything, it could probably cost you $7,000 to $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a lot of dough. On the virtual reality side, I could see them coming in and setting it up for probably $1,000.
So that
tops. So it is significantly cheaper, but once again, it's not as real. So on the virtual reality thing, it's neat. It's gamifying it. I don't think it's the be all because I still have a skeptic side of me. So if I was buying a property, say in like Costa Rica, and they had virtual reality as the option to view the space, sure, that's a marketing tool and I'll see the space. But the skeptic side of me is that they might say, oh my God, like that atrocious building across the street or garbage pit or whatever it may be, get that out of that virtual reality. So you still have the
Yeah.
ability to change things.
But what about if it's in the house? So that's something else that you see a lot in like gaming, especially, where it's like you're walking around a space. So you're still in the space. You're still getting the feel of the house. You can still see that ugly
As long as they don't
across.
crop it out. Yeah.
No, but like if you're walking through, like, say, this house,
Right.
but there's just no furniture, there's nothing.
Right.
So it's like you put the goggles on and you can see the furniture and stuff like that, but you can take them off and still see the house.
Yeah. A lot of people aren't doing this. It is neat.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool. Like if you think about, I'd rather have like a live view. It'd be really neat if it was live. So imagine you could put on virtual reality glasses and you were in the house. It's live. And you're able to, while you're in virtual reality, I don't even know how to do it. I mean, if you pulled something out of like a category and it was like a couch and you could figure out like that couch and you put the couch in that corner, what would it look like? How much space does it take up? And then if you loved it, before you know it, you're adding it to your shopping list. And then before you know it, like you're buying the furniture for the house.
Yeah.
So if you're at that point of buying furniture, people already want the house.
That'd be pretty cool.
Or if you could take your current furniture, put that into virtual reality world and then go to the next house and see where you can place it all.
Actually, yeah. So that was going to be one of my next questions is what's next, and I think that's a pretty good idea of what
The shopping part especially.
Yeah, especially if it's like your own stuff, because then that makes it so much easier when you're moving into a house, being like, does this fit here? Does this not fit here? But what I was going to get to before is if VR and AI, it's something that's like, especially AI, like you said, Facebook does AI. I mean, when we do ads in some capacity, we're using AI.
But it's all parameter stuff, right?
Yeah, so doesn't really seem to me like it's a luxury thing. Like I always figured VR and AI were very much like a luxury thing. Like not anybody could use it, but it kind of seems like it might be becoming more accessible to just about anybody.
I think it's luxury because it's like an add-on. It's almost like when it comes to selling a house, there's mandatory things that you need to do to get it marketed, whether it be staging, interior design, fixing the house up, doing really good photos, videos, doing tours. And then before you know it, it's kind of like, do you do the 3D ones? Do you do the floor plans? Do you do all these things? And then VR becomes a part of it. It is a part of, like VR doesn't necessarily work for every marketplace. If you're thinking of Toronto and you're in a condo and condos may be bought by foreign buyers, you know what? You could probably sell a lot to a foreign buyer by VR.
Yeah.
No question. However, you got to figure out the sync of like, is the VR, you do it in Toronto, you set it all up, and then you're going to have like little hubs or incubation spaces in different foreign countries. So it's like, is the technology there you could just throw on any VR goggle, or do you have to throw on the one that goes with the goggle that was created in the software? It's kind of like there's probably some snags.
Yeah.
So would you have to take your show on the road and bring your VR goggles to another country and try and get them to buy? I mean, it seems like there's some opportunity there, but there's definitely there's some roadblocks because of technology, like iPhone versus Android. There's different ways that people communicate and work with technology.
So do you think there's any other technologies that you can think off the top of your head that you think would be very beneficial in real estate?
Ooh, in addition to like what we just talked about, which was the space organizational, like how do you put stuff into a home? If I would want to know, I would want to see through walls if you really need.
Yeah.
I'd want to know what the home was built of. I'd want to know where the studs are, what direction the joists are going. I'd want to know where the plugs are in the house. I'd almost want to be able to come in and figure out where I'm going to plug stuff in, where I'm going to have my living spaces. It'd be neat to like...
You want X-ray vision.
Yeah. An X-ray vision. It's probably something that's not all that unachievable.
Yeah.
You could also, it'd be neat to come in and you'd know how thick the walls are and what kind of insulation they have in it by using
where the plumbing is, or
sure.
if there's
and maybe
a pillar.
it's VR. I mean, like if you're looking around with VR, you could do it. And if it's not that, I mean, like I look at technology as if it's, you don't want it to be a hurdle though. There's a lot of technology in this world that's a hurdle.
Yeah.
We think that we're offering customer service by upping our technology. But then if say you're going to sell a house and virtual reality was the main part of how you're going to sell the house.
Yeah.
And what if the virtual reality tanks and no one can use it and the user accessibility sucks on it and you never sell the house because you put all your eggs in the technology basket.
Yeah.
Before you know it, it's a hurdle and no one bought it. So it's like, you got to go back to the original. and utilize it as a side, but don't necessarily make it your main marketing focus for a home.
Totally. So it's kind of like augmented reality, or sorry, VR, augmented reality, AI, all that kind of stuff is more of as like a supplementary kind of thing. You should still go back to the roots of, how do you describe it? What's the feel of it?
Yeah.
Like what are the photos? Like, is there videos of the house you can do?
Yeah. You got to know your market.
Yeah.
For instance, we're a Newmarket, and the majority of our homes are in the Newmarket and surrounding area. Most people that buy homes in this area still, they 100% put their foot in the house.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like virtual reality really works all that well in this area, and I don't think it would. If you're doing, I could see people using virtual reality a lot more in commercial office space.
Totally. I agree.
Coming in and using it and saying like, okay, that's where I got to put the desks, the boardrooms, the washrooms, and they can kind of visualize that, especially when it's a blank open palette. New homes that could use virtual reality more because people come through and they can't picture what their home's going to be like because they're buying it off of a plan.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, if you can walk through a home virtual reality wise of what your home is going to be when it's done, I think you could probably sell more because traditionally they just buy off floor plan.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So with AI, especially in real estate, we're seeing like a lot of AI related stuff, especially with like customer service. So like chat boxes and all these other little ways to companies are trying to like, I guess, streamline their process or make it more accessible.
Yeah.
Do you see stuff like that as being beneficial, or do you see it as something that's actually taking away from the overall customer experience?
I've seen the conversation go on about like chat boxes, and we considered getting a chat box at one point, and I've used them ourselves through like Rogers or Bell, and you go on there and you don't know if you're talking to somebody or not.
Yeah.
The artificial ones, you can always tell they're artificial because they pop up too quick, auto-generated responses. But if I actually go on a chat box and I get a human being, I like it. I like the fact that I can do that while I'm working, and I can go back and I can see they left me a message and I can go back in. So we have a chat box on our website, but it is a person. You're actually talking to one of us. So it's not like you're getting an auto. And the auto stuff, I feel like it's falling flat quickly.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't think anybody likes it.
I think everyone liked it for 5 minutes, and then they realized that, it's
computer.
really annoying when you are trying to talk to a computer and they go, I don't understand what you want. Or I'm still learning. And you're like, oh my God.
It's no different than when you call in on the telephone.
Oh,
and
gosh,
And they tell you to say what you want.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't understand what you want.
They're like, I am so-and-so's new bot.
Yeah.
How can I help you?
So it's a hurdle.
Yeah. Half the time I start yelling at it, being like, you can't help me.
Oh, I know. And then eventually, like, it thinks that you said something and you get really frustrated and just hang up. So in that essence, if it doesn't help the client experience, no, we won't do it here.
Yeah. That's what I feel, especially with AI. It's something that at first you're like, this is great. And in some capacities it is. Yeah. But as soon as the AI interacts with the customer, I think that's when it starts losing the experience.
Yeah. It better enhance it.
No, of course.
And it can't be like an enhancement for like a moment. It has to enhance the entire experience.
I feel like it has to be a backstage thing.
Yeah.
More than a front.
Yeah. And it's funny how like it's really hard to get rid of the human creative side. And I think that when humans come into a room and they talk about it and they start creating ideas, I think that that's where like the artistry of real estate is. If you try to load it into a system and say, okay, well, here's the 5 things that people want, and like let's pigeonhole people so that they only see the 5 things that we predictably think that they want, creativity's gone. And it's funny how, I don't know about yourself, and I could ask you this, do you not find that when you get pigeonholed, you almost know you are because your creativity is going elsewhere? Like the human mind is undefined to the point that you can have an unlimited amount of ideas. And if all of a sudden they put you into 5, you ever seen those pictures that say, which kitchen is yours, A, B, C, or D? And you're like, yeah, none of them. Yeah. And it's like, well, if I had to pick one, I'd pick that one, but I'd change everything about it.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like, if AI is putting us into A, B, C, or D, I think it's actually
it's losing the human.
Sure it is. Yeah. And humans feel it.
Yeah.
They immediately go like, no. Like if I had to pick one for a hotel room, sure, but for your house space for the rest of your life, different.
So true.
So maybe on that essence, you might see more virtual reality in hospitality. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool. But again, like in the real estate a capacity of it that's more commercial then,
Yeah.
I guess.
And then when we think hospitality, I'm thinking like leasing. If you think
Oh,
about
yeah.
people that are leasing spaces,
Like Airbnbs or something like that.
Airbnbs, even rental properties.
Yeah.
People don't have time to go through and look at 100 different rental properties. So virtual reality could probably prove more beneficial in rentability.
That's actually kind of genius because like when you rent an Airbnb, you're going off like 8 photos. Imagine you actually could like kind of
Maneuver.
move around it.
In a hotel room,
Yeah, hotel
you can
room
actually
too.
walk. You know what? My favorite part about booking a ticket at a sports complex or something that's a reasonable size is they give you the view.
Oh, I know. It's so great because
Yeah.
then you're like, is it obstructed? Can I
Yeah.
see anything?
Like it's
I
actually a picture
totally
from
get
that
it.
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
cool.
boom.
Oh, if only they would show you how tall the guy was in front of you that had
Yeah,
the
of
season
course,
tickets.
right?
Yeah.
Imagine you had to put your height requirements.
You buy
of
it
the
by
person.
that.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not sitting behind that guy ever again. The ticket goes down in price.
Yeah, right? They're like, oh, this guy's 6'5". All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, anyway, on that note, that is it for our 4th episode of the Knowledge Broker podcast mini episodes. This has been a really great episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed our little
a great one.
conversation. So if you have, like I said, any questions regarding anything in real estate, please send them to us. We'd love to hear them, and we'll have Josh answer them. But until next time, have a great week, everyone.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon. Thank you very much for stopping by our channel. If you have any questions or if you're looking to buy or sell, go to our website and contact us today. Knowledge is power and creates experts in understanding. If you want power, hit thumbs up on this video and subscribe to our channel so you can get weekly videos from me, your knowledge broker.